Welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive. Today, we are going to be looking at some really inspiring stories about people who started with basically nothing and ended up changing the world.
Yeah.
We're going to be taking excerpts from the book, From Zero to Hero, Legends Who Changed the World.
Oh, cool.
And it's packed with these insights about resilience and purpose and just that drive to achieve great things.
Mm-hmm.
But we're not going to just skim the surface, you know? We're going to really extract key takeaways that you can actually apply to your own life.
Yeah, I think it's super fascinating how these people were able to turn adversity and challenges into fuel for these incredible achievements.
Yeah.
It's not just about success. It's it offers a glimpse into human potential and overcoming obstacles that seem impossible.
Yeah, absolutely. So first up, let's talk about Abraham Lincoln.
Okay.
Imagine being born in a log cabin, having less than a year of formal education, and then somehow becoming the president.
Wow.
During one of the most turbulent times in U.S. history.
Yeah.
That's Lincoln's story.
I mean, it's pretty striking, the contrast between his really humble beginnings and then his eventual leadership.
Right.
And he practically educated himself by firelight.
Really?
The dude had a serious thirst for knowledge and self-improvement.
That's a level of dedication most of us can only dream of.
For sure.
But it wasn't all smooth sailing for him. He faced failed businesses, public ridicule, even personal tragedies
Oh, yeah, he had a rough time for sure.
And yet he never wavered in his commitment to his ideals.
It's true. I think his resilience wasn't just about grit. It was really rooted in his unwavering belief in his principles.
Mm-hmm.
And this is suggesting that aligning our actions with our core values can be a powerful source of strength when we face our own challenges.
So if Lincoln could push through all of that, what does that say about overcoming obstacles in our own lives?
Yes.
What can we learn from his approach to resilience?
One key takeaway is that Lincoln was a master of reframing setbacks. He saw failures not as defeats, but as opportunities to learn and grow.
Okay.
And this growth mindset allowed him to persevere even when faced with seemingly impossible odds.
That's a powerful perspective.
Yeah.
So instead of dwelling on the negativity,
right,
he used his experiences to fuel his progress.
Exactly. And it's important to remember that resilience isn't just about pushing through alone.
Yeah.
Lincoln had a network of supporters who provided encouragement and guidance.
Mm-hmm.
So building strong relationships can be crucial in developing our own resilience.
Oh, so surrounding yourself with the right people.
Yeah, for sure.
Can make a real difference.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, we know Lincoln for leading the U.S. through the Civil War.
Right.
But his impact extended far beyond national borders. Think about the Emancipation Proclamation.
Yeah.
It wasn't just about the war. It was a turning point in the global fight against slavery.
Yeah, his actions had a ripple effect, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Influencing the course of history on a worldwide scale.
Yeah.
And this highlights the interconnectedness of events that seem isolated and how individual actions can have a global impact.
It's almost like he was unintentionally setting a precedent for future generations to tackle issues like social injustice on a larger scale.
Totally.
All right, shifting gears now to a different realm, the world of media.
Okay.
We're diving into the story of Oprah Winfrey.
Oh, cool.
Now, we all know her as a media giant.
Mm-hmm.
But can you imagine her childhood wearing potato sacks for clothes?
Wow.
Because that's all they could afford.
Really?
Facing poverty and abuse, it's a stark contrast to the Oprah we see today.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it really is. But amidst those hardships, a turning point emerges when she moved in with her father.
Okay.
He was a strict disciplinarian,
Oh.
but he instilled in her a love for education and a strong work ethic.
Okay.
And this structure provided a stable foundation that would prove crucial to her later success. It's an important reminder of how a supportive environment, even if it's not always comfortable, can have a profound impact on a person's life.
Yeah, I agree.
From there, we see her early career unfold. First in radio, then transitioning to local television, and eventually culminating in the launch of The Oprah Winfrey Show.
And here's where things get really interesting.
Yeah.
Oprah didn't just use her platform for entertainment.
Right.
She tackled social issues head-on, championed literacy, and most importantly, empowered countless individuals. Her approach to media was revolutionary.
She went beyond the surface, sparking conversations about topics that were often considered taboo.
Right.
She wasn't afraid to use her influence to advocate for positive change.
Absolutely.
What were some of the specific ways she used her platform to make a difference?
One of her most impactful strategies was creating a space for open dialogue. She brought diverse voices and perspectives to the forefront, allowing people to share their stories and connect with others who might be facing similar challenges.
Yeah.
She also actively promoted education and personal growth, consistently encouraging her audience to strive for self-improvement.
And that's a key takeaway for all of us, right?
Yeah.
It's not just about achieving personal success. It's about using whatever influence we have, no matter how big or small, to contribute to something larger than ourselves.
For sure.
Oprah's story demonstrates that we each have the potential to leave the world a little better than we found it.
Absolutely. And what's particularly inspiring is that Oprah didn't shy away from her own vulnerabilities.
Yeah.
By openly sharing her own struggles, she created a sense of relatability and showed her audience that it's okay to not be perfect.
Yeah.
This authenticity fostered a deep connection with her viewers, making her message even more powerful.
Right.
Yeah, that vulnerability was a key part of her strength. Okay. Are you ready for another incredible story?
I am.
This one takes us to South Africa, where a man spent 27 years imprisoned for fighting against apartheid, a system of racial segregation and oppression.
Right.
Yet he emerged from prison to become the very president who led his country to democracy.
It's amazing.
That's the remarkable journey of Nelson Mandela.
That's incredible. It's hard to even fathom the strength it must have taken to not only endure such a long imprisonment, but to come out of it with a spirit of, reconciliation and forgiveness.
Right.
Can you elaborate on, the realities of apartheid and how it shaped Mandela's early life?
Yeah. Apartheid was a brutal system that denied basic human rights to millions based solely on their race.
Right.
Imagine a world where you're restricted from living, working, or even walking in certain areas simply because of the color of your skin.
Wow.
That was the reality Mandela faced growing up.
Yeah.
And it instilled in him a deep sense of injustice and fueled his determination to fight for equality.
And he did fight, becoming a key figure in the resistance movement.
He did.
But that activism came at a price imprisonment for nearly 3 decades.
Yeah, 27 years.
That's a long time.
And this is where Mandela's story takes another fascinating turn.
Okay.
While in prison, he made a conscious choice to not let bitterness consume him.
Wow.
Instead, he used his time for learning personal growth and even connecting with his jailers on a human level.
Oh, wow. That's an incredible testament to his inner strength and the power of choosing hope over despair.
I agree.
Did this mindset contribute to his ability to lead a peaceful transition to democracy after his release?
Absolutely. Upon his release, Mandela chose reconciliation over revenge.
Wow.
He understood that lasting change required forgiveness and unity. He led the dismantling of apartheid and the establishment of a democratic South Africa, a process that earned him the Nobel Peace Prize.
Of course.
And cemented his status as a global icon.
He became a symbol of hope not just for South Africa, but for the entire world.
Right.
But beyond the global recognition, it's his inner strength and unwavering commitment to justice, even in the face of immense adversity, that truly inspires.
So we've explored these 3 incredible journeys.
We have.
Lincoln, Oprah, and Mandela.
Yep.
Each starting from vastly different zeros and rising to hero status through unique paths.
What's striking is that despite those differences, their stories share some common threads.
Yeah.
Qualities that we can all learn from and apply to our own lives.
Absolutely.
What are some of the key takeaways that resonate with you?
Well, resilience is a major thing that runs through all 3 stories. They all faced setbacks and challenges that would have crushed many others.
Right.
Yet they persevered.
Yeah.
But it wasn't just about gritting their teeth and pushing through.
Right. Yeah.
They each had strategies for navigating those challenges.
Yes. We talked about Lincoln's ability to reframe failure.
Yeah.
And Oprah's embrace of vulnerability. How did Mandela's approach to resilience differ?
Mandela's resilience was deeply rooted in his understanding of the interconnectedness of humanity.
Okay.
Even while imprisoned, he saw his jailers not as enemies, but as individuals. This allowed him to maintain hope.
Right.
And to see beyond the immediate circumstances. It's a powerful reminder that even in the darkest of times, we can choose to connect with others on a human level.
So building strong connections.
Yeah.
Fostering empathy.
For sure.
And seeing the humanity in others can be crucial components of resilience.
Absolutely.
What else can we learn from these remarkable individuals?
Another common thread is purpose.
Okay.
Each of these figures was driven by a deep sense of purpose, a burning desire to make a difference in the world.
Right.
Whether it's Lincoln's fight for equality, Oprah's mission to empower others, or Mandela's pursuit of justice, their actions were fueled by something larger than themselves.
It wasn't about personal gain or ambition. It was about contributing to a cause they deeply believed in.
Exactly.
This suggests that aligning our actions with our values can be a powerful motivator. And a key to achieving meaningful change.
Precisely. And that sense of purpose doesn't have to be tied to grand world-changing goals.
Right.
It can be about making a difference in our own communities, families, or even in our own lives. The key is to identify what truly matters to us.
Right.
And to let that guide our actions.
And that brings us to the final and perhaps most important takeaway.
Okay.
Belief. These individuals had an unwavering belief in their ability to make a difference, even when the odds were stacked against them.
For sure.
What can we learn from their approach to cultivating this belief?
They didn't let doubts or external negativity deter them from pursuing their goals. Lincoln faced countless political defeats before becoming president. Oprah battled sexism and racism in the media industry, and Mandela, well, his journey speaks for itself. Their belief wasn't just blind optimism, it was a deep-seated conviction that change was possible, even when the path forward seemed unclear.
It's almost like they had this internal compass guiding them, this unwavering faith in their ability to make a difference. But how do we cultivate that kind of belief in ourselves? It can feel daunting, especially when we're facing our own personal zeros.
It starts with recognizing our own potential. Each of us has unique talents, skills, and experiences that we can leverage to make a positive impact. Think about your own strengths. What are you good at? What are you passionate about? These are clues to where your potential lies.
It's about identifying those sparks within ourselves and then fanning them into flames. But sometimes, even when we know our strengths, we get bogged down by self-doubt. We compare ourselves to others or let fear hold us back. What advice would you give to someone struggling with those feelings?
One powerful strategy is to focus on small wins instead of trying to tackle everything at once. Break down your goals into smaller, achievable steps. Each accomplishment, no matter how small, builds momentum and reinforces your belief in your ability to succeed.
It's about proving to ourselves that we can make progress step by step. And as we accumulate those small wins, our confidence grows and those bigger goals start to feel within reach.
Exactly. It's like building a muscle. The more we exercise our belief, the stronger it becomes. And remember, setbacks are inevitable. It's not about avoiding failure, but about learning from our mistakes and using them as fuel for growth.
So embracing challenges and seeing setbacks as opportunities for learning is crucial. We've talked a lot about resilience, purpose, and belief, but there's one more element that ties these stories together: action. These individuals didn't just dream of a better world, they took action to make it a reality.
They understood that thoughts and intentions are only meaningful when they're translated into concrete actions. Lincoln didn't just talk about ending slavery, he issued the Emancipation Proclamation. Oprah didn't just dream of empowering others, she built a platform to amplify their voices. And Mandela didn't just imagine a democratic South Africa, he dedicated his life to achieving it.
They were all about turning vision into reality. Their stories serve as a powerful reminder that we all have a role to play in shaping the world around us. So as we wrap up this deep dive, let's reflect on a few key questions. What resonated with you the most from these journeys? What specific takeaways can you apply to your own life?
Maybe it's Lincoln's dedication to self-improvement, Oprah's commitment to using her platform for good, or Mandela's unwavering belief in the power of forgiveness. Whatever it is, remember that you too have the potential to make a difference.
These figures made history, but history is still being written. What will your contribution be? What zero in your life will you turn into a hero moment?
What legacy will you leave behind? It's something to ponder as you continue on your own journey.
And who knows, maybe someday we'll be sharing your story on the deep dive. Until then, keep learning, keep growing, and keep striving to make your mark on the world.